This is TV35's Community Calendar. Email your community events to tv35@tv35.tv. Washington Street Presbyterian Church Vacation Bible School is June 15th through 17th, 8:30 a.m. until 1 p.m. every day. Pre-registration forms are available at 975 South Washington Street in the church office. For more information, call 272-1944. All children are welcome. Oconee High School Grand Reunion, July 3rd through the 5th at Oconee High School. For more information, call 272-2644. West Lawrence Baseball Camp, June 15th through the 18th, from 9 a.m. until 12 noon, ages 7 till 12. Registration is 8 a.m. on June 15th. For more information, call Coach Brian Brown at 296-9338. Fast Pitch Softball is holding tryouts later this month. For more information, call 290-6781. Georgia Southern University is having a golf tournament at the Dublin Country Club June 27th. Entry fee is $375 per team, and you can register from 9:15 until 9:55 the day of the tournament. Or sign up. Call the Dublin Country Club at 272-1469. Demarius Bebe Thomas is having a football camp. It's going to be from 9 a.m. till 12 noon on July the 11th. Ages 8 to 17 at West Lawrence High School. Registration will be from 8:15 till 9 a.m. the morning of the camp. Donnell Benefit Golf Tournament starts at 8:30 a.m. June 13th at Riverview Golf Course. Entry fee is $200 per person. It's a 4-person team, and lunch will be provided. All proceeds will go to support local teenager Lily Donnell as she battles cancer. For more information, call Kyle Outlaw at 595-4826 or Steve Brown at Riverview Golf Course, 277-1408. West Lawrence High School will hold 2 volleyball camps, 1 fundamental camp. From 8:30 until noon, July 6th through the 9th, cost is $50. And for grades 6 through 12 girls, the second camp is from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m., July 13th through 16th, cost is $100. For more information, call Tammy Horn, 984-5252. This has been the TV35 Community Calendar. If you would like to get one of your events on TV35, email us, tv35@tv35.tv.
Thank you all so much for being here today. My name is Brad Lofton. I'm the president of the Dublin-Lawrence County Development Authority. It's a great day to celebrate a solar panel project with all the clouds in the sky. But despite the weather, we're glad you're here. We're honored to have you. This is another great day in a community that is green and growing, and today's a great evidence of that. I want to get out of the way, but I do want to introduce my boss, Dr. Fred Williams, who's the chairman of our Development Authority and the new incoming City of Dublin school superintendent as of yesterday.
Let us bow. Oh Lord, our Lord, we invoke your presence today in this great and grand time in Dublin, Georgia. We thank you for all the partnerships that have been formed, and we just pray that your blessings continue to be upon us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
They talking about sunshine. I know some boys like silver. First off, let me say, did Matt make it? I believe we got Bubba Epps here with us, our representative from District 144, which is part of Lawrence County in our district. I know Matt had an additional engagement. Jimmy Pruitt had one, and I think Ross likewise. But Bubba, if I think you had another engagement, and we appreciate you being here, and when you get ready, we'll let you go to work otherwise. And let me say from that standpoint, I think the state's been very beneficial in energy legislation that's helped make projects like this work, and we appreciate it. I'd like to welcome you to Parkerdale Road, Lawrence County, Georgia. Don, my brother, Josh, my nephew, and I welcome you to this new solar project we've been working on for approximately 5 years at some level or another. Don and I work this project as we have many other land transactions. In our case, a step is a yard, and a look at the ground level will tell you where it's level or not. We had to bring Josh along to help us improve on those variances. He's a real engineer. And let me say, we have 3 solar sites operating and 1 under construction. So we've enjoyed working with these various boys here, and thank you for that opportunity. Now let me give you a little background about where we're at here. In 1948, electricity was connected to our home in southern Lawrence County. That's where Don, Marcia, and I grew up. And that was for the first time. I was 8 years old. It was immediately amazing to me to see homemade peach ice cream made with a motorized churn. And at that time, EMC says the average member used 55 kilowatts per month at an average cost of $2.56. Somebody needs to be listening. What a deal. And at the same time, Dad's rebate for that year amounted to $7.88. In 1954, I luckily won a unicorn contest in Georgia through the FFA, which I was part of. The region and state winners were invited to a new lake, what is known as Lake Sinclair, for the trophy presentation. The picnic area at the park only had 2 wooden tables that had wood benches attached. My, what a change has occurred there in the last 60 years. In the spring of 1967, Don was coming home from UGA, where he was going to school. He called me from the cattle sale barn in Greensboro, Georgia. Said he could buy dairy calves for $12. We need to talk to those boys also, don't we? He bought 30, rented a trailer, brought them home. We raised 29 of them, prices improved, and they were sold. And for the same calves, we brought 12 Black Angus heifers from a fellow by the name of Jim Christian, who was the owner of this site at that time. It was in pasture. Jim's granddaddy, and Don and I, the great-great-granddaddy, was a lone Christian male survivor from the Civil War, where he settled at that time in Wilkerson County, Big Sandy Creek, right up the road. Never in my wildest imagination were there any thoughts of ever owning this property. We acquired the property in July 2005 and immediately planted it in trees. And let me tell you, them 800 plus amount of stumps per acre was a major extraction problem this past winter. I don't think we made a good deal with Todd. What a cow pasture we got out here now. I'm sure the tax assessors will have a reevaluation heyday in 2016. And to top it all off, it demands very little services from the community. I can't even talk this morning. It's basically self-sustaining. As most of you know, Don and I love being a part of the outdoors and what it means to us and the community. Agriculture and forestry in particular, the last few years has really changed. Energy now plays an important role in its uses throughout the state. Lawrence County has a tremendous land base within our county that needs further, higher, and better utilization from any number of energy sources, we think, and in particular solar. It seems natural gas that's got the top name all over the country. Something's wrong. They tell us if we got any, it's too deep, so I don't think we can depend on it. A few weeks ago, I heard a fellow with the Tennessee Valley Authority out of Tennessee say they are now supported by 20% solar energy. On May the 16th, down at Fort Stewart, Georgia Power and the PSC announced a major site there. 230 acres, 30 megawatts, $75 million. Fort Benning, Fort Gordon, and Warner Robins Air Force are doing likewise. Todd, one problem I got here, they say that one will include 140,000 panels. I believe it's a little bigger than what we're looking at here.
We're working on it.
And I'm sure some of you noticed panels were installed on the National Guard Army shop here in town last week. Now let me say one other thing traveling throughout the state. When I'm asked where I'm from and I say Dublin, Lawrence County, most of the time a smile immediately occurs with a question. How does that little community with such high economic and community standards survive and do what they do and back it up? My thoughts to that is I attribute it to a good working relationship with a common goal between the county, the cities, the development authority, and the community as a whole, making positive things happen. Let's don't forget that and keep it up. To Georgia Power, to Southern Company, Morgan Stanley, Gregory Electric, a lot of us, I can't say it, I'm sorry. AES, Lawrence County, City of Dublin and Development Authority, on behalf of the Christian Group, Beach Hall Ready Mix, Dublin Wind Electric, Hampton Construction, Cotico Fencing, and the rest of our employees, say thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this project. We are still America, the land of opportunity, where each can set and attain his own goals, and we need to keep doing that and be a part of it.
What another great day in Dublin, Lawrence County. With all of y'all that's here today, it shows what kind of cooperation we got, like Wayne said, between the county and the cities. It is great to live in Dublin. I finished at the University of Georgia back in 1964, and I went to live any place I wanted to. But I was from Dublin. I have come back to Dublin, and it's been a great place to bring my children up and to do things for the community. Lawrence County is proud to be a part of this organization that's with the solar panels today. If you look around, we are one of the leading counties that's gone into solar. So we try to build relationships with the Southern Company, with all the other people, with the people here that's representing this project today. This project will inspire growth and development for our community, bring jobs to our community, and make things a lot better for this community.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Rob Macinter. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of AES Distributed Energy, and we're delighted to be here. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. I'll keep my remarks pretty brief, and particularly since I had them on my computer and the battery just died, so I'll be just sort of going with it. But what I did want to say is, has been noted, and through all the logos and participation here, it takes tremendous coordination and determination to bring a project like you see in front of you together safely. And we're very excited to see the completion of this project and to work here in Lawrence County and in the city of Dublin to arrive at what you've seen today. I was actually asked who, let me just pause. So a project like this is very consistent with the mission of AES Distributed Energy. and with the AES Corporation overall, which is to improve lives through sustainable electric power delivery and through the improvement and creation of economic opportunity in the local communities in which projects like this are developed. And I think you've just heard that through both Wayne and Buddy and the importance of that. And so we're excited to be a part of it. Maybe Todd will talk a little bit about some of the local contracting and subcontracting that was involved in building a project like this and the economic impact that that has on the local community. I was asked just to sort of explain just really briefly technically, what are you looking at? So there's about 14,000 solar panels here, not one of the biggest projects in the state. We are developing a second project as well with all the same stakeholder group that you see here down a little bit further to the southeast, and that project will have about 70,000 panels. And so we're very excited to build projects of this size and scale. This one produces 4 megawatts of AC power, and the second project will produce about 16 megawatts of AC power. And the way that happens is these panels collect solar insolation, radiation from the sun. They convert it to DC power. It flows through some big pieces of equipment that those big white units out there are called inverters. They invert the DC power through solid state electronics into AC power, which is what is delivered onto the Georgia Power distribution network and ultimately to the homes and the businesses that are served by that power. Collectively, between the two projects, 4 megawatts and 16 megawatts, that'll serve the equivalent of about 3,500 homes worth of power consumption with clean, green power, and all this is enabled as part of the Georgia Power Advanced Solar Initiative, which we're very, very happy to be part of that program. This is one of the first projects that's been constructed and delivered in accordance with that program, and there's another round of power or another round of projects that'll be coming online as Georgia Power embraces solar energy and renewables generally. So our role will be to own and operate this site for hopefully longer than the 20-year term of the power purchase agreement. This is a very long-lived asset. It's clean and quiet, as you can see, and it's actively producing power. I can see it on my smartphone through a little application. We can monitor it remotely. We can troubleshoot and manage the operations and the maintenance as needed. Hopefully very little maintenance, right, Todd, will be needed. And we'll be doing that all from our office in Boulder, Colorado, but it could be happening anywhere. So, with that, I just wanted to, again, say thank you to all the different stakeholders. Thank you to the local community that's here, that's supportive of projects like this. And we're looking forward to providing a great experience both for the Georgia Power Network and grid, as well as all of the homes and end users that depend on that electricity. So thanks, everybody.
Before I get into the remarks here, I would like to share something personally with you. 35 years ago, I was at the University of Georgia, and I was studying agricultural engineering. And I walked into a room, and the professor, or the head of our department, was an electrical engineer. His name was Robert Brown. And Dr. Brown said something to us that was profound back then, and it becomes reality today to me. Because he says, when you start engineering, and you start thinking about projects in the future and helping people's lives, quality of people's lives, think about electricity. Think about the network that electricity has that improves that quality of life. Think about the production of electricity, because there's going to be multiple ways to produce electricity. At that time, we knew photovoltaics was going to be something really good in the future. It's taken a while to get to the point that we are today. But the vision of a lot of people are helping our society, our world, to become a better place. And I was proud to be part of that. I wasn't employed by Georgia Power at that time, but now I am, and I'm very proud to be part of the network, if you will, of improving lives of citizens. I do have several comments that we would like to share with you about Georgia Power's involvement. We're pleased to see yet another solar farm coming online in the state of Georgia. It's part of Georgia Power's Advanced Solar Initiative. That's a program that was created through the Public Service Commission, and it's a very good program. Here in Georgia, we have one of the fastest growing and most competitive solar markets in the nation, being developed without regulatory or legislative mandate and without upward pressure on our rates. Georgia's economy stands to benefit from an estimated $1.7 billion investment as a result of solar developments in communities like Dublin. Through agreements with developers like the Christian Group, Don, Wayne, Josh, all of y'all, Georgia Power is developing cost-effective solar capacity that will be one more arrow in the quiver in our aim to provide our customers with a diverse mix of affordable and reliable energy sources. Georgia Power anticipates that more than 500 new solar projects across the state will be brought online by the end of 2016 through those programs. Pretty good. We're excited about this addition to our generation portfolio. In fact, by 2016, Georgia Power will have contracted for hundreds of megawatts of solar capacity, resulting in the largest voluntary renewable portfolio of an investor-owned utility and one of the largest portfolios in the nation. Now, we've got several people here. You see the names. AES Distributed Energy, we'd like to thank. Innovatus for what you've done. The creativity of design and figuring out the most cost-effective way to produce or to design a system. Gregory Electric for taking those designs and putting them into play. Morgan Stanley, the financial arm, because without the financing you can't reach all the goals that you'd like to have. The City of Dublin and Lawrence County and what they do, and the Development Authority. And I would like to say something very special to the Development Authority. This community, I've been in other communities in the state of Georgia, but this Development Authority is quite innovative in themselves. I personally want to thank you, and Georgia Power wants to thank you for what you do as far as seeing into the future and making sure that our community grows. So thank you very much for that.
I'm going to keep it short and sweet, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about the journey, a little more about the adventure, because this has been a very good experience for our company. And to build on the thing, it's been a tremendous amount of cooperation and doing it together. So I'm going to go back to, I think it was 2013, early, the ASI program. They first did the first utility scale RFP. Well, we were new into renewable, and we had a partner that we worked with, Innovatus. And they had a lot of solar experience and what they did in design. They said, well, let's get together and let's do something. So we did. So we started on that trail. And it was a winding trail, so I'll give you a little bit of how we got there. We started off talking to a friend of mine, Jeff Dix at Maguey. And I said, let's use Georgia product. Let's go after the Georgia program together. And then he gave me the contact of Cal Ray with the Development Authority. So we needed property in South Carolina. And we didn't know anyone in the local area. So Cal gave us that, and that led us to Wayne and Don. And I think our first meeting was at a Cracker Barrel. And it was a very high-powered meeting, as you can imagine. Very, very, very big. So we were just talking about saying, this is what we need. We need acreage. We want to put solar in, and just kind of how the program works. And it's got to be competitive and all that kind of stuff. And I tell you, after that, by the end of that breakfast, it was like, okay, how do we get this done? And it wasn't like, well, we got to get back to you, or we think about it, and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think Wayne and Don are the type to think things over too much. They liked the idea. They said, let's go. So we did. We started the process, and I tell you, you know when people love land, because I think Don was going to wear me out. He brought me to every piece of property. And in the afternoon, he says, I got 2 more if you want to go see them. I think you enjoy looking at your property, because he wasn't going to keep me going day after day. But we finally settled in on some properties. And then as we looked at the proposal, we knew Georgia Power was going to look for good numbers, so it was going to be very competitive. And solar was kind of new for the state in Georgia, so there wasn't a lot of systems set up and how do you tax and how you do this. And we met with Cal and Scott and Roger, and we said, this is what we want to do. We kind of went over the basics of the solar farm and what we needed to make money and how to make it work. And again, it was like, well, how do we do this? So we had a great support from the Development Authority and folks from the commission to put a deal together. So we put our RFP in, and remember we were waiting, and then we got awarded. And then you go through that 5 minutes of excitement, and then the next 5 minutes is, how are we going to do this? So we had that moment, and we kind of collected our thoughts. And then we kind of went into the wilderness for a while, because now it was, we can do it, we got the property, we got all this stuff. Now we have to get an owner, so an investor. And we were in the wilderness for a while, and we ended up working with AES and Morgan Stanley, which we're very happy about, and we're doing more projects with them. And so it finally all came together so we could get started. And at this point, when we got started, is when we really realized what a great community that we were working in. We had some tight deadlines to get this thing done. And I don't know who does the weather at Dublin or the chamber, but it wasn't sunshiny this spring. It rained like every day. And so we had folks helping us after. We had, let's see if I remember, Randy Hampton with Hampton Construction. We said, come on, can you put a drive in? And he did that. And then Pete, who works for Gregory, we were like, our guys are all over the place, and we needed a lot of work done on the site. So we just asked Randy, what else can you do? And I think he was a permanent fixture for almost the whole time. He dug trenches, smoothed things out and all that, and did a great job. And then we had, I think, BH Hall Ready Mix. Bill Malone worked with him, and we got them to come out to the site, and same thing. We kept scheduling to come out to do the pads, and it would rain. And so finally we came up with a quick drying approach, and finally got it scheduled, and they helped us out, and they were very professional, did a great job and a good price, and we were very happy about that. And then from supplying and local things for, you know, electronics and stuff, Win Electric was very helpful. I think, Pete, you became a visitor, and they, I guess they blamed us for the rain. They said we brought the rain with us as we came this direction, but that's okay. Yeah, we might need to. And then finally, and also from the setup, Josh Christian and Brian Rogers and others, just so we get the project started and do some of the engineering and the civil work and all that stuff. Everyone was very, very helpful. And at the end, you look at the fence; it's a very good, professional-looking fence. Jonathan Kotico did that, and good timing, because again, we were always in a hurry. And now we asked some of them to come help us on the one in Savannah, and we're hearing something about travel distances and it's too far. We're going to accept that. I think they don't want to do another project with us, I think, but I'm not sure, so we won't do that. But I go through that little bit of a story is to get us to here. So 2013 to now we're at this dedication. There were people all along the way that helped us get this done, and we couldn't do it without the local folks helping us out. So the point, I guess, of my speech right now is just thank you. What a good experience. We enjoyed it, and I hope we can be back here again doing another project soon in the community.